I'm unsubscribing from surface level interactions, surface level friendships, surface level connections, unless it's business related, networking of some sort. And even then, I still require a level of depth. What's becoming increasingly highlighted as I go down this creative path is all of the places where I'm not being met. This doesn't mean just like hiding in my house and cutting people off cold. It just means that I naturally now am spending my energy in a level of depth because that's where the art comes from. That's where the expression comes from. My desire to come up to the surface these days, now that I'm immersed in my art, has gone down quite substantially. And that made me question myself a little bit. Do I need to swim up to the surface to meet people? Is it asking for too much for people who live on the surface for some depth? Is it possible for them to hold their breath and go underwater and deep dive with me? And if not, then what is the alternative? So I thought that these were really good questions to ask while I am taking a walk in Vancouver. I really want to get outside today. It's super hot, and right now it's started to cool down, and I love taking night walks in Vancouver because it is so beautiful. So let's go. I know it seems pretty unremarkable because it's just a bridge, but I still think it looks pretty walking through here at night. I used to spend a lot of my life, most of my life actually, in relationships, friendships, and dynamics where I was begging to be known. Begging to be known for like my depth, for my inner self, the one that you could never get to if you were just busy dancing on the surface. My true desires, my dreams, and all of that. And I really wanted anybody to know that. The YouTube has allowed me a vehicle where I can explore my own depth and then put it somewhere. Apparently it's talking to the internet. What if I never get sick of this view? What if I love this view forever? Begging to be known by others while I could have spent the time sitting with myself. But I didn't want to be with myself. I wanted to be with other people, craving this deep connection, this deep longing. But it's so strange to like seek it from other people because you're not comfortable within yourself. I suppose that I really was uncomfortable with sitting with myself. And I suppose that's a reflection of your mind. Whether you want to be with yourself, is your mind mentally hygienic enough? Have you kept up with the mental hygiene long enough to want to sit with yourself? And let's say that it isn't. Are you capable of or have the desire to improve that mental environment of yours? Oh, look at how beautiful that is. As much as I want to explore the other side for something new, I'm gonna go the same way we went last time. Can I really expect people who live on the surface to come down and meet me in depth? I don't know. I think you can only meet people as far as they've met themselves. And you can't really force people to go deep or be deep. That's a self-exploration journey. Oh my God, look. Look at all the boats. It's pretty, hey? As much as I want to try something new, I want to be over there. You ever have those relationships where you name something and for whatever reason that person that you're engaging with doesn't want to acknowledge the thing that you're naming? They're in some sort of denial, or they are not willing to look at it for themselves. Well, that has happened to me quite a lot recently, actually. And I am kind of over dancing around people's surface things. I feel like I'm only available now these days for like real interaction. Like, keep it real with me. There's a lot of people that I'm encountering who are avoiding, and whatever it is that they're avoiding, whether that is like an emotional truth or something within themselves that they're not wanting to look at. Um, I just don't have time for it anymore. I really love this underpass. This is just under the bridge. It's so pretty. It is this pretty in real life, y'all. What I didn't show was the flowers last time. I guess I'm so busy meeting myself in my depth, integrating all of the work that I need to do, being honest and real and authentic, having the courage to face my shit, that I just don't have time for anybody who's dancing around the truth or avoiding it completely altogether. Y'all, look at that. Let's keep going. Does it look magical? Because it is. And I guess that's another thing, is acknowledging my depth and acknowledging what I require in a dynamic, in like an exchange, in a relationship. I've realized that I have needs, and the needs live in the depth. I've required to be known and to be met. And while I can't expect anybody from the surface to come and swim down, what I can do is fully occupy myself making art and knowing myself. And I find that, oof, hold on. People walking their dogs. Everybody's walking on the seawall. Ah, gorgeous. But yeah, I guess I'd rather just be creating. Sue me. I am not busy withholding my presence or withholding my love. I'm just busy occupying my time doing things that I love now, as opposed to chasing people and begging for specific people to understand me, to care about me, to care about how I feel, to be curious about where I'm going, to want to know what I'm doing. Ugh, I'm over it. I smell weed. I don't smoke it anymore, but it still smells good to me. Also, for me to have gotten to the point where I no longer care to be known by anybody but myself is healing. Woohoo! I can spend my energy fulfilling myself now, as opposed to externalizing it and seeking from all these places where I'm like begging to be seen, begging to be met, begging to be heard. Because we don't beg. Look at that. You can see more of the mountains as we head this way onto the beach. I'm just giving people space to live their lives on the surface where they want, where they belong. I ain't gonna ask nobody to go where they don't want to go. Hell no. I got better shit to do. And there's people playing guitar and singing. It's the Brazilians are always popping off. And all this time that I've been going up to blow bubbles on the surface with the surface dwellers, what was I really doing? I was performing, making small talk. Like, ah, yes, this is what we talk about to be accepted. Ah, yes, we must enter in normie mode so that we can be amongst the people, be accepted into society. And you know what I say to that now? I rebuke, bitch. I rebuke. Listen to the waves. Can you hear it? The alternative being, I guess, asking somebody to hold their breath and go in the deep with me. Are you afraid that you may drown? Because half of the time I am drowning. And here's where all the gifts lie, the treasure. And I guess maybe some people just want their whole lives not knowing the treasures from within. Aww. It's like a spiral of rocks. Never took the time to do that. So probably fade away into the water at some point. The people that are afraid to deep dive really are just afraid of their own shadow. It shows. You know, it shows when people avoid their shadow. It shows when people avoid doing the work of like, hey, this is what scares me. This is what makes me shell up, run away, hide, get angry, get sad, feel brokenhearted. This is what makes me cry. These are the emotions that lie in the background, even if I want to acknowledge it or not. Shall we walk through this? I don't even know what this is called. It's always been here though, it's a landmark. To the people on the surface, what do you mean you don't know how you feel? What do you mean you're running away? What are you running away from? I remember running away. I ran away for so long. And then you know what ends up happening though is you gotta decide to be the hero someday. Because the lesson comes where you realize ain't nobody coming to save ya. It's just you. And if you're lucky enough to have like a beautiful support system, a loving mama, papa, or even just one, or any kind of caregiver or role model, you're already rich. Look at that. And then there's the valley. And the hazy sky. And so what if I decide I don't want to swim back up to the surface no more? So what if I full send a life of being a merman? I'm forever underwater now. Is there anything wrong with that? The only real fear that I might have ever had was being the crazy cooped up artist. But what I've realized is there are friends and people in my life that meet me in depth. They're the ones doing the work too. They're healing. They are holding themselves accountable. They are choosing to change their realities, their environments, their circumstances, their behaviors, their patterns. Those are the people that make me feel very not alone. It's a whole different experience walking back, y'all. Look at that. I understand not wanting to be alone in the depth when I was younger. Because when I was younger, honestly, it was a lot of feelings. It was way too many feelings. And being isolated in that was overwhelming. I just needed to be around people. I felt like I couldn't hold it all myself. The darkness was too big and things were really scary. And how I felt, I didn't know how I fucking felt half the time. And because I didn't know, I was anxious. I didn't know how to sit with it. I didn't know what my emotions were telling me, that they were information, that my pain meant something, that my fear meant something, that when I worried, it meant something. But now I have the tools and I'm equipped to be holding this on my own. And so now it's not scary anymore. I understand when people get older and they learn to love their own company. That's what's happening now for me. The light refraction on the water is what makes everything so magical. Let's say you're like scared of how you feel, scared of the thing that you're avoiding, scared of the pain. I get it because I've been there. And you know what I really wished? I wished somebody was there to hold my hand during that whole time. And so I am more than willing to be by somebody's side and hold their hand while things are scary. Because when you deep dive, when you hold your breath and go beyond blowing bubbles, you go underneath. And are you afraid you're gonna suffocate and die and drown? Yes, because it is that scary. But it's an exploration that you don't have to do alone. I couldn't have done it alone, actually. It was actually my best friend starting to do the work first that brought me down from the surface. I would see her and, I used to think that her problems were way worse than mine. And the fact that she turned out to be so strong and so beautiful and so loving and resilient, I could only aspire to be that. And so when she started doing the work, going to therapy and unpacking her past and beginning her healing journey, I couldn't help but notice the changes that had happened in her. She would shine from the inside out. Her eyes were full of light. Long story short, her courage encouraged me. Her courage to heal and do all the big, scary things allowed me to do the same thing. And then all of a sudden, I wasn't alone. Although being the first one to do that in my family, I was alone there. And I was alone in maybe most of my friendships up until that point. It was just kind of me and her at the time. But having me and her be on the same page about like doing the work and understanding each other and understanding ourselves, all of a sudden, it really only took one person for me to just feel so not alone in this whole existence. I think that is kind of what I'm hoping for from this channel, Letters from Tommy. If any of these letters so find you, and you needed to hear what is in the contents of this bottle, this is for you. Look at that. Oh, my goodness. Come on, look at that reflection. Pardon my language, but bitch, that is nice. Can we see the moon? Yes, we can see the moon. Nobody watches the first 100 videos, but if this video happens to find you, know that you are not alone in the depths, in the feeling too muchness, and that your needs are not too much, and that there's other people who swim in the depths, and we make stuff, and we remind people that magic is real. It's strange in the beginning letting go of the surface relationships though, because there are these long-term relationships that I've had for my whole life. Some of them are family, some of them are my best friends who you just grow different ways. Or maybe what's more accurate to say is I've continued to grow and some people have continued to stay the same. And that's the contrast that I'm naming. And energetically, I don't want to be gaslighted. I don't want to be told that that energy isn't real. You can feel people's stagnancy. You can feel people's resistance. You can feel people's denial. And I don't want to act like I don't feel that while pretending and performing like everything's okay when I'm around them. No, not anymore. I'm too old. I'm gonna go capture the water refraction over there on camera. Oh my God, the biggest fucking rat just ran over all the rocks. Holy shit. It was like the size of a ferret. Oh, anyways. Sure, he was just looking for food. Ooh, this shot is money. You cannot tell me that light refraction is life. Listen to the water. Gotta pick it up these rocks. Oh, jeez. Okay. Oh, that is a money shot. What? You know what? It really is, though, if you don't meet people up on the surface anymore. Conserving your energy. I can conserve my energy now for things that I want to do. It's like the ultimate form of discernment. If I deploy my energy here, whether that's in this relationship, in this dynamic, in this environment, in this project, in this activity, will it be met? And if the answer is no, I think I'll conserve my energy. So then it becomes less about meeting people on the surface or living in the depths. And it just becomes more about being where you want to be. Look at this. These walks really bring a lot of clarity. Why would I offer up my depth on the surface when it is a valuable resource and a finite resource, a resource that I need to safeguard and protect and cherish because it fuels my art, it fuels my expression, and it is where magic lives, where the surface dwellers have forgotten. They have forgotten what magic means. And perhaps shall they find my letter one of these days, they can remember that magic is real. Not only is it real, but it is within them, and they have simply forgotten. Just as I have many times forgotten my own magic. I suppose that is what this YouTube channel is for, isn't it? This walking content is so funny because I'm just spewing a bunch of bullshit, y'all. I shouldn't say it's bullshit. It's all very meaningful things and it's all expression. I think I mean to say is that there's no real script. I'm just asking questions and then I'm just riffing, allowing my mind to flow, allowing my stream of consciousness to express itself onto camera. That was the regulation walk that I absolutely needed because I had had these thoughts on my mind so much. So I suppose I'm not really gonna swim up to the surface to blow bubbles anymore. Not because I'm like needing to be met by other people, but more so because I'm gonna conserve my energy for my art, for the relationships that do meet me in the depth. You know, the ones where my needs are met. That frees up more time for me to be available for the relationships in my life that are already reciprocal, already consistent, meet me in depth, and they're doing the same work. There is a level of connection there and reciprocity where I don't have to ask and I don't have to go seeking. So I suppose the real question was, when will I stop requiring for people on the surface to see me? And I guess the answer is, I don't anymore. People can only meet you as far as they've met themselves. And I suppose the alternative is with all of that energy that you have reclaimed back to yourself can be poured into the exploration of the things that you love. And it really is as simple as that. Until next time, remember to choose, remember to express yourself, and remember the magic is within you.